Los Angeles. When the Los Angeles Dodgers signed Nick Ahmed in a pinch last month, the veteran had 905 career games as a major league shortstop. The man he was replacing, Miguel Rojas, entered this year with 840 games. Kike Hernandez, inked to a one-year deal this winter, had 172. Gavin Lux, whom the Dodgers spent all winter carrying as their likely shortstop, had 68. The Dodgers swung deals for Emed Rosario, 764, and Tommy Edman, 145, at the trade deadline. The Dodgers have choices there. And when Mookie Betts returns to the Dodgers next week in Milwaukee, with all of 16 career Major League games at shortstop before this season, he will resume one of the most fascinating experiments in baseball. Betts hadn't played the position regularly since he was a senior in high school and was installed as the club's starting shortstop 2 weeks before opening day out of necessity. For now, at least, the club will keep him there. In short, the Dodgers benefited from having Betts at that spot to start the season. At the time Betts was placed on the injured list with a fractured hand on June 17th, the Dodgers led the major leagues in Fangraphs WAR from the shortstop position, 4.5, outpacing the Bobby Witt Jr. led Kansas City Royals and Gunnar Henderson led Baltimore Orioles by a narrow margin. Edman can play 6 different spots, everywhere in the outfield and infield outside of first base, but appears headed towards center field. The Dodgers could find a platoon with Jason Hayward in right field. The version versus lefties could play left field as well, with Teoscar Hernandez possibly in right, but Hayward has just a .677 OPS against right-handed pitching this season and has scuffled the last month. Andy Pages and James Outman are the only position players besides Lux on the active roster with minor league options remaining. Pages entered Tuesday with a .523 OPS since the start of July, nearly identical to Outman's season-long total, .524. Ahmed has been a stopgap solution. Then there's Kike Hernandez, who has had a strong 2 weeks but has largely struggled at the plate this season. What will happen once Chris Taylor comes off the injured list? The looming September 1 roster expansion only helps so much. It's hardly a secret that Betts' preference is to lead off games, and for good reason. Few players have ever been as productive out of that spot. Betts has a career .913 OPS hitting first and has started there in 1,069 of his 1,337 career games. When Betts returns to the Dodgers next week, he'll bat second. I think that it's hard to argue Shohei Ohtani starting the game off in the 1, Roberts said. So the manager broached the idea with his MVP shortstop. Betts was amenable. He's voiced flexibility throughout his rehab during the past month. Ohtani has hit .37, .423, .699, with 15 home runs in his first 40 games in the leadoff role in Betts' absence, emerging as a threat to become the National League's first Triple Crown winner since Joe Medwick in 1937. Roberts wants Ohtani and Betts to get the most at-bats and wants to be able to break up the left-handed hitters, Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, without moving Freeman down to the cleanup spot. Will Smith batted second most frequently in Betts' sense, moving down to the 4th spot lately as he's produced just a .646 OPS since June 1st. As great as Mookie is, Shohei really has the chance to change the game from the first pitch, Roberts said. So much of the Dodgers' fortunes are tied to the state of Yoshinobu Yamamoto's right shoulder. So Tuesday marked yet another source of optimism. Yamamoto threw a bullpen session under the close supervision of club personnel. More notable, Yamamoto will board the team charter this weekend to Milwaukee, where he will face hitters for the first time since landing on the injured list in June. That, Roberts said, will be a big step. Where things go from there is still unclear. Yamamoto's progression will be monitored closely. Whether that will be in isolated simulated games or a minor league rehabilitation setting is to be determined. At best, it's a return at some point in September, with enough time to ramp up and potentially look something close to the postseason caliber he can be.